Welcome back to another episode of the Legit Day Job Podcast. I'm Cody.
I'm Sean.
And I'm Kay.
And this is our Legit Day Job.
It's what we do every day for a living.
We get paid lots and lots and lots of pennies to do this. All right.
I was gonna say that's BS.
It's from the government.
We're struggling to survive.
So we are in day 4 of the Toho-thon.
Yes, we are.
Today we watched Gorath, 1962, and Atragon, 1963. It's worth noting for the 3 or 4, maybe 5. Maybe
Viewers?
5 people.
Wow.
If we have 5
this.
people listening, oh wait,
That's
they're
more
not
than-
they're not subscribers.
They're
never
not
mind.
subscribers,
Damn.
but if we have 5 viewers watching this right now, that's more viewers than we have episodes. That's a new record
Yes,
if that's
it
the
is.
case.
It is a new record. Yeah.
We
So-
thank you.
We
whoever
thank
you
you.
are.
Please, yeah.
Yes.
Also,
If there's less than 5, we don't thank you though. We gotta boost those numbers up.
wait a minute. Anybody who's just anybody who's listening, even if it's one person, please hit that subscribe button.
No, we're not chilling. We're not doing that.
No, yes, we are.
That's so 5 years ago.
No,
YouTube.
it's literally like
that's so 5 years
important.
ago. Anyway, well, what was I about to say?
We need to reach 50
Oh.
subscribers.
Gorath.
I was gonna say, we've been doing this chronological release, that is, but today we skipped one movie. We will be covering Mothra next week, as it directly ties into Mothra versus Godzilla.
Forgive us, Father, for we have sinned. We skipped a movie. I
We
know
have
it's blasphemy, but
Wait,
know.
I think I said we have skinned. That's not. That's not what we
did not skin a movie. Do not skin people. It's not okay.
So, Mothra.
It hurts.
Mothra was 1961, so technically that would have been before either of these two. So we just went ahead and just moved along. So Gorath, 1962. Tell us, Sean, what did you think of Gorath?
Okay, so Cody's picking on me because I did happen to fall asleep during both movies. Gorath, I fell asleep during most of it, which would have been the opening half of the movie. I do remember the opening, and then I do remember like the middle onwards. So I got most of it. I went to Wikipedia, the most reliable source on the internet, to fill in those gaps that I blacked out for. But
This episode of the Legit Day Job Podcast is brought to you by Wikipedia, the most legit source on the internet.
oh my god,
Thanks, Wikipedia.
Cody should be an auctioneer. He'd be great at
Go
it.
donate to Wikipedia. Can I get $2, $3, $4, $5 to Wikipedia? $1 per person.
10 bucks.
I have half a mind to think that Cody like bails on.
Did you say you have half a mind?
Yeah, I have half a mind. I have half a mind that Cody like he leaves us in here to like just chill out for a second. He's like, I'll be right back, and then he goes and snorts a line in the office and comes back, and he's like, all right, let's do the podcast. But no, yeah. So Cody's picking on me. I'll tell you guys what I know. So Gorath.
That's about it.
1962.
That's all you know.
The end.
Moving on.
Yes.
We watched these movies early in the morning, and I'm not a morning person, so forgive me. But
Tell me, Sean,
what I do remember is that
which character was Gorath?
Gorath was actually a planet, a super dense core of a planet.
It was
that
a star.
exploded. Oh, I'm sorry, a star that exploded. That's what it was. A super dense core of a star that exploded. So what happens is these astronauts. It's like by the way, it takes place in the future, like 1979.
It actually takes place in the 80s. Or no, sorry.
Well, yeah, the beginning is 79. I looked it up on Wikipedia.
Oh,
the most reliable source on the internet.
All right, I was making sure.
So in 79, these astronauts go on this journey to Saturn to like study it or something, and they discover this big superstar core
Ball of
Gorath.
fire. Pretty much.
And yeah, exactly. And I believe that ship is actually destroyed before it gets back to Earth. But it sent a transmission saying, "Hey, there's this big thing in the sky. You watch out." And so like 1980 rolls around, and the world is like, "Okay, well, this is bad. We've pooled our scientists together, and it looks like we're gonna get destroyed in like 2 years' time." So they spend the next 2 years, like the UN gets together and makes a plan getting like the world's greatest minds together, and for over 2 years they're going to compile like everything, all the scientific advancements they've made in like 20 years to figure out a way to save the Earth from Gorath's path of destruction. So they decide they're going to go with this thing called South Pole Operation, where they're going to basically put this massive amount of jets at the South Pole, and then like basically like rocket the Earth out of path, so like out of its orbit and everything, so that Gorath, when it comes by, doesn't suck it into its like immense gravity pull, which I think was like 6,000 times that of Earth.
It started at 6,000, and over the course of the film, they kept updating the number.
Oh yeah, it grew because it was
like
absorbing. It was absorbing more like space debris.
6,100.
Yeah,
or space debris. Yeah.
It's like a third. I think they said no. How big did they say it was? It was either a third or a sixth of the size of Earth, but like over 6,000 times the mass.
It was like 6,000 and 6.
Yeah, it
100
wasn't,
and 6.
which is why. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like a star. That's why it was a star, because those have like immense gravity pull. But yeah. Anyway, so so they're going through with this operation, and I think it took like 100 days to move the Earth completely, and I was awake for this part. The moon actually gets destroyed by Gorath. It came that close to Earth in its final run, and eventually it passes by, and blowing up the moon caused a whole bunch of like tidal waves and
Negative. That was due to Gorath.
oh well.
They don't even touch on that.
Oh,
one.
that's right. Well, okay.
moon
Naturally
just-
speaking, the moon would have the moon being destroyed just damned the Earth. Like
Yep.
humankind is gonna be destroyed.
Well,
but
well,
they breezed over that.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a bit.
But anyways, yeah. So the scientists move the Earth, and it's a big multinational coalition, and Gorath keeps on moving, and the Earth is fine. And then they're like, all right, well, we'll just put it back in its orbit, and like that's cool.
The end.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There was a subplot there about like some dude who got amnesia. It didn't say anything about that in Wikipedia, so I wasn't about to like try to fill in the blanks there. I just woke up at the part where he had amnesia, so I'm like, oh, same, bro.
We can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, you guys can fill me in on that
Yes.
part, but it
Yeah.
seemed like such a subplot, it wasn't even worth mentioning. Oh, there was also Giant Walrus, I think. Or was that the next
Yes.
movie?
No.
Definitely
It
the
was-
next movie.
That was the next movie?
That was the next movie.
Oh, interesting. I thought that was. Oh, yeah. No, it wasn't. The Giant Walrus was this one.
You also
Becau-
fall asleep in the next film.
I did, yes. The Giant Walrus was in this one. There was a giant snake thing in the next one, or a dragon or whatever. But this one had a giant walrus. It was in like that felt like, even reading it on Wikipedia, that felt like the most shoot-in BS I've ever seen. It was basically this giant like 50-meter walrus that was supposedly from prehistoric times that managed to survive through modern day because it lived in like the South Pole, like underground or something. And the massive jets that they had, that were gonna move the Earth. Yeah, they like thawed it or woke it up or some shit, and then something happened where they were like, hey, we got this rocket ship that can like use lasers, and we're gonna try to stop this beast first and like bury it. Didn't work, so then they just kind of like sliced it open with the laser, and that was the end of it. It was like a really.
I don't even think they did that. I'm
Oh no, they
pretty sure
did. They killed it.
Did they? I don't remember that.
Yeah, I think they just like burned it.
No,
and then it didn't move.
No, they killed it, guys. There was blood everywhere. It was blood, and it was shiny, and it gave a little reflection that at first I thought was like a rip in the suit, and you could see the dude inside. So I thought it was funny as hell.
What
But
are
then
you
the camera
talking
keeps
about?
moving, and I'm like, oh no, it's just blood. So they killed it.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. I remember that aerial view.
But it was
Of it
so
going over.
shoehorned in.
Oh.
Like I said, that was kind of a stupid point.
It was kind of like for distraction.
Basically.
It just so they could say it was a monster movie. It's basically like, it's like how Disney, when he was building Disneyland, he put that basketball hoop on top of the Matterhorn because they were like,
Here we go again.
well, no, because they were like, you can't build a structure that high unless it's for recreation. And so he put a basketball hoop on top of the Matterhorn because like it had to, like the city had to approve it. And so he's like, well, there, recreation. And then they're like, okay, the Matterhorn can be that tall now. So he's like, all right, cool. So they've since taken it down because that all changed. But
I see.
So, okay, what did you think of Gorath?
Anyways, it was-
1964.
it seemed like they did it just so they could be like, hey, we're doing a monster movie. So yeah, what'd you think of it?
1962. My bad.
Pretty much story reminded me right away like Armageddon. You
Yeah.
know,
Oh yeah.
you gotta save the Earth because of some thing is gonna come and doom it.
Yeah.
What I did like from the director in this one is like the use of camera movements, like the push-ins
Yeah.
to create drama. I didn't see that in the other ones. I don't
Oh
think.
yeah.
I don't think I've seen.
Well, it had been like almost 4 years, I think, since the last one we saw. Because the last one we saw was 58.
So they
I think it was 58. Because
Yeah.
56, 7, and 8.
Roughly.
they picked up some techniques or something.
Yes, it's been a couple years. It was in color too.
Oh yeah. Forgot about that. They still use toy Earth sets, and I didn't really like that. Flyovers and stuff. I was like, no, not feeling that.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't like them?
No,
Well,
not
I
really.
had that as a positive. That the miniatures look way better in this one than any others.
I
just
liked
didn't like it for some reason.
the ships and stuff kind of looked like miniatures or models, but like those shots over Earth where like you can see like most of the frame is like just a portion of the Earth, like the atmosphere. I kind of like that. It reminded me of Star Wars. Like it might have been a matte painting or something, but it genuinely looked pretty good to me. I would have marked that as a positive. I didn't take notes on this one actually, but
Because you were
Because I was asleep.
You
right?
were snoozing.
You were asleep.
yeah. And then between movies, I was sleeping too, so I wasn't writing notes.
I didn't really think the monster was much needed. It was just like distraction, just to cause something like the thrusters might get destroyed by this beast. But
They needed some kind of conflict.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the worst threat was the flooding. Like, the
that
flooding
is
kind of
true.
took out a couple thrusters, but like, even still, like it's that beast.
They needed something.
That beast was a weakling. It got killed by a laser. If it went anywhere near those thrusters, it would have just been incinerated.
Of course, and it was just a walrus after all.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just a giant walrus in a cheesy looking suit. I might add. That one didn't look as convincing. I could tell it was just a dude in a walrus suit, and I was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, they didn't even bother to like make it have a tail. It just was
Mhm.
his legs in the back crawling.
Yeah.
And the guy with the amnesia, what was that for? Like I thought it was gonna play like importance like the last movie.
Yeah, no.
Or can you remember something that?
Yeah.
But it was just.
He just.
What was that for?
Yeah. The amnesia subplot. It was in the beginning of the film, as you mentioned, in your Spark Notes recap. Very beginning, there's a guy going out. I don't think they were going to Saturn though, unless I'm mistaken. I think they already knew of Gorath. They just wanted to like investigate it.
No, I think they were going to Saturn.
I don't think they were.
Like the first.
Check
crew,
Wikipedia,
or-
the most reliable source on the internet.
There's like two crews, right? Like X1
like
and
the
X2.
very
Oh, yeah,
beginning,
there were
very
two-
beginning
Oh,
of
the
the
very
film.
beginning.
I mean, I could be wrong, but either way, they go up there and they find Gorath, and they send a guy out, and he like gets right up in its face, and then he sees it, and he's I guess so horrified at the floating space rock that he loses.
He loses his shit.
Not only does he lose his memories, he doesn't even know how to speak or his own name. So it just absorbed his soul basically, and then he just had amnesia for the whole film. And at the very end of the film, he I think he sees footage of the space rock.
Yeah,
again.
on
Yeah,
TV,
again,
and he has
like-
like non-flashbacks.
Yeah, and then that's how he regains all his memories, and then that's it.
Not actual nom, by the way. That hadn't happened yet. I don't think in history. I'm using it as
That's
a
what made it
metaphor.
more impressive, though. Is
They
that they
weren't
got-
actual non-flashbacks because it takes place in like 1982. So it's like okay, that nom would have happened, but
Yeah,
it
that's
was-
what
but
made
it-
it so exciting.
but it was
really.
filmed in like 62. Nom hadn't.
in my opinion, that's where the film really got a little artsy. You know.
I swear to God.
That subplot went absolutely nowhere. Had absolutely no purpose. Because
Yeah,
when he
'cause-
remembered everything, there was no new information.
He got his soul back, and
he
the end.
he was just like, I remember you, my wife, and then they push the earth,
oh yeah, that's
and then
right.
and then the
Back
end.
to the Earth.
The thing that stood out to me the most was that the main plot of this film, it felt like a really terrible sequel to a really good first film.
Mhm.
Like the film should have just been the first 5 minutes.
They were going to Saturn, by the way.
Oh, okay. Either way.
Just to clear that up. But
Either
yeah,
way.
Yeah, it should have been worked in differently. The
Well, no.
subplots didn't need to be there.
Well, no,
Could've been-
again, it should have just been the 5 minutes. Nothing else after that. It would have been just stretched that out to like an hour and 20 minutes.
Mhm.
You would have had a really nice, exciting space, not even disaster film, just a space, like, I guess, drama,
Mm.
where at the end they make a noble sacrifice to send Earth the information. Be like Rogue One, but Toho. And again, this just feels like the, I don't know, made for TV rushed sequel to the hit success. Except that hit success was 5 minutes of this one. Yeah.
So Gorath, 1962.
It is. This is really subtle.
Mhm.
You guys might not have picked up on it. It's gonna
I swear to
continue.
I swear to God, if this is a social commentary about hydrogen, atom, and nuclear bombs,
No,
I was going to say, I swear to
No.
God.
no, they're not all social commentaries.
Well, the last like 20 have been, yeah.
only Gojira was a social commentary. All the others,
What?
just because they say
Godzilla
let's
rates-
use an H bomb doesn't mean it's
No.
social commentary
Godz-
on the H bomb.
Godzilla Raids Again wasn't. That was just a cash-in sequel to
Correct.
Gojira. However, the other
Rodan.
ones, they all
What
seem.
was the social commentary of Rodan?
I swear it was in there.
The
it was like,
movie about
no, 'cause they
pterodactyls in a mountain. What was
No,
the
they-
social commentary?
No, they were also
there?
talking about like nuclear testing or something on that, weren't they?
They mentioned
Like-
that
like
they were
Nuclear. It was like nuclear like bomb use on the Earth's surface has like awakened them. Yeah, but like by causing tectonic plates and stuff like moving and,
Yeah.
and dumb
That,
BS
that's a
science.
little. That's a
but,
little.
like,
It's a little far cry from literally the bombs created Godzilla. It's a little different. Just to
no, but they keep throwing it in there. It's like
it's a plot device. It's not social commentary. It's a
Eh,
big difference.
I don't
Big
know.
difference.
I don't know.
Again, Rodan was just a straight monster film about pterodactyls in the mountains that got woken up from the plot device of a nuclear bomb.
What was the next
uh,
one we saw?
What was the next one we saw
I don't remember. It was another monster movie.
What? I mean, after Rodan?
after
The
Rodan? And-
Mysterians?
The Mysterians.
Yeah,
that
that's
one
right.
was just a sci-fi
Yeah, it
film.
was like
No, but that one
science.
also was kind of a social commentary because they were like, yeah, we were doing the same exact thing you guys were. We use hydrogen bombs and it effed us real hard from behind.
That one.
So
yeah,
don't do that.
I'll agree with that one being social commentary. I don't agree with the bomb part though, because
they
again,
totally did.
I think we talked about this last episode. They said what the point was at the very end. It wasn't.
Science, right?
Yeah, it was science as a whole, not necessarily just singular.
But they were saying like they didn't make that a big point. Was
It was mentioned once in the beginning.
we
like,
pushed ourselves too far scientifically and we screwed ourselves.
Yeah,
So they were so that was kind of a
but
sub.
that wasn't.
That was like a
wasn't-
sub.
the bombs weren't the sole
tweet.
point though, which is why I don't.
No,
agree
it
that-
wasn't the. But it was still a little PSA.
It was
there.
it was in there, but again, the focus wasn't on the bombs. It was just don't misuse
science. Yeah.
scientific advancement as a whole.
Yeah.
And
Don't
then
mix
Varian, if you
chemicals.
found any kind of social commentary in Varian, you clearly weren't asleep long enough.
I was asleep long enough for Baron. I don't remember anything from that movie.
There was no social commentary.
I didn't expect so. It
Um,
was a TV movie.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. It was really subtle. You guys might not have noticed. It's gonna continue being a subtle thing until it becomes much more obvious in later films. This film specifically was the first film of what I like to refer to as the Japanese pride arc of the anime. This is the film.
Of the anime? Wait, what?
Yeah, this is the Toho anime, right? We're in season 1, the Showa era. This is in my opinion where they officially jumpstart the Japanese pride arc. See, all the previous films have just been, with the exception of Gojira, because that was direct social commentary. All the other ones have been like, the bomb created the monsters.
Mhm.
Now we're getting killed. This was the first one where, again, slightly subtle. This is the first one where they start really flexing on like the world, Japan specifically. There's a couple scenes specifically that illustrate what I'm talking about. Early on, when I don't remember exactly when, but it was when they were like starting to gather all the scientists for the UN. The Japanese scientists mentioned to each other, "Oh yeah, like those other scientists, they're really good, but no one has ever made anything better than our spaceships. No one's even come close." And then the only like American characters in the film, which there were, and they did speak English. However, the only American English speaking characters in the film only served to prop up the Japanese characters. When they're in the UN meeting, the guy, like the American, the old guy, literally just stood up to be like, that plan makes perfect sense, and he starts clapping to the Japanese plan.
I like the way he was like, we're gathered here today, and on my behalf, it was like a wedding.
Yeah.
What kind of speech was that?
We're gathered here today to witness the union between these two great nations, Japan and America. Obviously, one is going to wear the pants in this relationship, and that would be the great nation of Japan.
Yay!
Yay!
But yeah,
go Japan, save the world.
Just keep an eye out for that in future films. It's never like
I know. You know what? I noticed that in that one shot, like when they're like, it was a success.
Oh yeah, at the very end,
and
when
like the camera's like panning around the whole
circled
room.
around like the two Japanese scientists.
Yeah, the camera's like panning around the whole room as we follow them through, and like everyone's
you just
giving them pats on the back and stuff. It was totally like even the American guys were like celebrating too, and I was like, okay, this is they're patting themselves on the back.
Yeah,
but hey, it's not like America doesn't do that.
Oh
like,
no,
everything past the 70s.
I'm not faulting the films or even the concept of it. I'm just saying, just worth pointing out that this is the first film in my opinion, I could be wrong. Considering we skipped Mothra, it's possible that it started there. But
have you seen Mothra?
I have.
Oh, okay.
I just don't remember details like that. Those are very again, it's very subtle things that it's not something I'm gonna remember.
You don't remember much anyway.
Yeah.
For the audience's knowledge, Cody barely remembers his birthday sometimes.
Yes. That's because I wasn't born. I was created.
I mean, me too, but I remembered when that happened. I can tell you the incept date and the date of completion on me. I can tell you,
it was black. And then there was white.
Sounds like Godzilla.
And then there was color.
It tried to be like a heavy, like scientific sci-fi film, but then it just completely chose to just completely ignore any kind of scientific consequences. Like, how if we just tried to rocket strap the Earth, like, what was it, like 6 billion kilometers away or something like that?
Something like that. Like,
basically,
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Even if the moon wasn't destroyed, like let's just say they moved the Earth, like everyone's still dead. It's off orbit, it's off axis. The sun won't hit it the same way. The moon won't reach it the same way.
Like I was gonna say, if we're going really scientific, first of all,
it wouldn't move at all.
Okay, yeah. The thought of like,
well, let's just say it does move, though.
Yeah, for whatever reason, if they did, come up with like a great mathematical scheme to actually get all these thrusters in the right spots where they can move the Earth instead of just spinning it like 100 times the speed. Yeah, let's say it moves. The speed at which that would happen, even if it took like 100 days,
people are gonna feel it. People are gonna know that the Earth's moving.
The human race and the surface of the planet would just destroy itself
overnight.
And let's assume that it's not because like again, if it was still spinning when they did this and they maintained the spin while moving it, first of all, that's not possible. Second of all, if they did, it would spin it a lot faster. So either the spin just screws us, or we stay in place, meaning the spot facing the sun does not ever have darkness for 100 days. It would turn into half a desert and then half a tundra, an Arctic tundra.
Yeah.
So we would just be done. There's no way the Earth would even survive something like that. So honestly, they should have just sucked it up, prayed a little bit, gone to sleep before the Gorath came, and then just had sweet dreams when, like a bullet to a hard-boiled egg. Like,
and I only bring it up as a nitpick just because, unlike the other films, with maybe the exception of the Mysterians, but even that one was meant to just be like an alien invasion sci-fi film. This one is trying to take itself seriously as a scientific sci-fi film about a meteorite that has 6,000 times the gravitational pull of Earth, and the only solution is to move the Earth.
Yeah, wait. If it's
not played for,
it had 6,000 times gravitational pull,
we would need to move the Earth a lot farther than that.
yeah,
thinking
it
of
would not.
something.
Yeah, we would
would need to
moving
move
it,
the Earth.
and then it comes even closer to us, and they're like, oh no!
Like at that
Pull
point,
back into
it's an easier solution just to say, let's just leave the planet,
It
which
is.
apparently is possible.
I mean, have you seen Interstellar? It is possible.
No, I'm in the context of this film.
Oh yeah, it is.
Like they have
possible.
space stations.
Yeah, we could have literally
Just
just like,
evacuate to this space station, build a bigger space station to hold the population.
exactly.
At least Japan. It doesn't have to be the whole world. Just say we're just moving Japan. Screw you guys.
Japan's the only one that noticed it, and like they kept it quiet. They're
Well,
like, we're not going to tell the world. We don't want a mass
Well, I
panic.
mean, even if the whole world did notice it, remember, no other scientists are smart enough to build a space station. So
Who won World War II? Just say. Sorry, I have to point that out. But yeah, so
yeah, let's so they move the Earth, no biggie, right? Then the moon gets destroyed.
yeah, and then let's say they do manage. Maybe it takes like 5 years, but they manage to put it back in its original place relative to all the other planets. They manage to get it back on its right axis. They get it on the proper spin and everything, and
Yeah.
everything goes back to normal.
except for
The moon is still
the
destroyed.
moon's gone.
Not only are you going to
poof.
get, not only would you get like occasional rains of like meteorites from the moon.
Oh no, it didn't. I don't think it exploded. It just got sucked into.
Like a vacuum.
Which means it. Oh, okay. So unless
Yeah.
it like came in and just melted upon
because
impact.
I'm pretty sure they collided, but
They did.
But the whole, I mean, at least from what I got from the scene, or I guess the whole situation, is that it wouldn't matter even if it shattered into like a bajillion million
Oh
pieces.
wait, yeah, 6,000 times the.
Yeah,
there was nothing left.
it's getting
Never mind.
pulled into
Yeah.
Gorath's pole anyway.
Yeah, so the moon just.
Yeah, the moon's just
disappeared.
gone.
It's just nothing. Nothing
it's
is left.
It's like
Yeah.
it never was even there, except for the fact that the entire atmosphere would be.
Neil
just
Armstrong would be so upset. But you know what? That's okay because A, America's not great enough to get on the moon. B,
Hey, at least
that happened in '69. This was filmed in '62. None of that actually.
Oh, that's
didn't know
right.
that- they didn't know that was
going
gonna
to plant the
happen.
flag. I was gonna say at least the American flag is officially the first flag on Gorath, but I guess that didn't technically happen.
No, yeah, because they didn't know it was going to happen, so they wouldn't be part of the
I
continuity.
can't wait for the sequel to this sequel, which is First Man, where they travel to Gorath and the first man on Gorath,
Also starring Ryan Gosling.
also starring Ryan Gosling.
my future husband.
But he's redubbed in Japanese, obviously.
Shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, again, like I wouldn't pick on these things so much if it didn't try to take itself so seriously.
Oh yeah, no. If it knew it was a B movie, then like
If it knew how ridiculous the idea
although-
of strapping like 12, what they say, 6 billion megaton thrusters onto Antarctica.
Oh yeah. Also, Antarctica would cease to exist.
It would
so
melt.
would our atmosphere. Our ozone layer is destroyed.
And the logic of why they chose Antarctica also made no sense.
Oh wait, yeah, because it's at the
They
like the
mentioned-
ass of the Earth. Like, you're not gonna.
Well, they mentioned specifically, someone asked them, why don't you go to the North Pole? And they're like, because the North Pole's made of water.
Which is true,
Oh,
actually.
It is true, but,
I mean, but-
what is ice made of? Like Antarctica still has water.
But I'm like, they could have put this on any continent. Technically,
why
as long as it was-
Antarctica? It could have
Yeah.
been anywhere.
I mean, yeah, like the.
Put it on like a deserted island in the middle of nowhere.
Mhm.
Build it in the water. Who cares?
Exactly.
Strap it to the moon and have the moon thrust into the Earth, propelling it further.
just make sure that when the moon does make contact with Earth, it's on America because we're
Of
not as
course.
good.
Well, no, it would land in.
Plus,
in
it would
the,
be a nice little middle finger for Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They're like, oh, you want to drop those on us? We'll drop the moon on you. And then we could have saved the moon. But yeah, no matter what, the human race is just destroyed.
Oh yeah, it's gone, which is unfortunate because underneath all that, this was a pretty interesting,
It was a
like
pretty
doomsday
it was.
film. Like if it had taken the scientific, like if it was remade today,
Mhm.
probably could be pretty damn good.
I mean, it was remade by Michael Bay in 1998.
What film?
Armageddon.
Oh my god.
Pretty much.
But
But yeah, okay. So even that was kind of stupid. But like, if for some reason they found like logistical science and came up with some way to actually make this plot logical, and at least plausible.
I mean, there's a very
yeah.
easy way to do that, and you don't even need that much science behind it
Just
to make it plausible.
Take out the walrus, take out
No,
the
no,
dude
no.
with the amnesia, take
forgot.
out
Take out the
take out
amnesia.
Gorath.
Take out the walrus. Just
make it.
instead of
Let's move the earth.
No, just leave the
No,
walrus and take out everything else.
I'll fix all of the scientific problems with the film right here, right now. It's so simple. Take those 6 billion megaton thrusters, ship them off into space, have them get pulled into Gorath, and shoot the meteor away.
Censorship is
Yo,
brilliant.
and send the walrus there too. Just throw him
Yeah,
on there.
yeah. Why not?
Oh yeah, they find the walrus when they're making this 6 billion megaton missile, and then they're like, oh, let's add one more thing to the manifest.
Yeah, the walrus came out of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, the walrus is stupid, but whatever.
Um,
Anyways, so
So that was Gorath.
yeah, that was Gorath.
1962.
I do have to say,
Special effects were good.
yeah, the special effects were really good. I also like the cinematography,
Yeah.
especially the colors.
It was
I
a
liked
competently made film.
I liked the color, use in this film.
Yeah.
Like of what I remember seeing, it was very, very well done. I have to say, it was very vivid and very beautiful. I liked it actually for that, and
Yeah.
and it looked great, So
Yeah.
Ishiro Honda, I would say, except for the arguably kind of crappy script he was given, I'd say he did pretty good directing,
Yeah.
and everything else, and the cinematographer obviously. And was the composer the same as Gojira, or was that a different guy?
Different guy.
Well, he kind of ripped off the Gojira theme a little bit, but
You keep saying that. I didn't hear it.
no, he told.
I didn't
Take a
hear it.
listen to it. He totally did. I could hear it. I could hear it as like a little not even like an overlay. It was kind of like it was the basis for it, and he added a couple more things to beef it up and make it a little different. But it's it's basically like when you hear a little bit of the Titanic theme in The Amazing Spider-Man, because it's the same composer for those two movies. So he kind of used the whole choir kind of voices during one scene in Amazing Spider-Man, and I was like, oh, that's why I have an emotional connection to that because it's from Titanic too, So I mean, it's not uncommon for composers to kind of sample their own stuff, but it was kind of just sampled basically. But I mean, not that it wasn't good. It just I noticed it. That's all. And I
Not that it wasn't good.
yeah, not that it,
now
no,
you're
no,
talking.
no, no,
now you're
not-
talking like the characters in Atragon.
Yeah, I swear. Not that it wasn't good. Not that I'm saying it was bad because of that, but I just pointed
Not
out
that
he
it
did.
wasn't not the worst thing I'd never seen.
Jeez. Yeah,
It was
we'll get
above.
into-
It was above mediocre, but not below totally abysmal. Making it just above, but not really quite so not average.
It was not bad, but not worse.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was not bad.
It wasn't not bad, but it also wasn't not great.
Yes. You know what also sounds kind of not great, but at the same time not the worst thing I'd never not seen. The fact that this is the only fun fact I have on this film, which is that there's a heavily altered US version, which we again did not watch because we are saving those because we don't really have the time to watch all the
No, yeah, we're
US
just saving
alterations.
we're just saving the US alterations for Godzilla films.
and even among those only very specific ones.
Mm-hmm.
In this heavily altered US version, they added a 7-minute long prologue.
That might have helped actually, because I do remember the beginning going kind of fast.
Yeah.
Within 10 seconds of the actual film, we're
I
suddenly
mean,
introduced to two characters and given so
Yeah.
much
I was
character
like,
development, and I'm like,
I thought you were talking
I
about
kind of
the
Nani.
appreciated that because it kind of just propelled, kicked things off.
oh, I have a comment on the second movie, but we'll
Yeah,
get
I was
to
like, the
that.
second movie was, like, really
It was the same
fast. Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and,
Anyway, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So they added a 7-minute prologue. They took I didn't even realize it was 6 minutes long. They took the 6-minute long monster sequence and they rewrote and re-edited it down, cutting most of it, but
Mhm.
still leaving it in there. The rewrites and re-edits was basically just to kind of rearrange the things so the characters never acknowledge it.
they
But
could have just cut it all together.
well, no, I kind of like that they kept it in there because apparently they did also officially name it.
It
Go
has
ahead.
a name.
Oh, it does have an official name, but they in Japanese like that has an official like kaiju name. I don't think they ever mention it in the film, but
it's
the US
canon
version
somehow.
does.
Mm.
Go ahead, take a guess. What do you think that what would you give the monster name? What would you give the monster?
Wally.
Okay,
Gorath.
They're just like, it's also a Gorath. That's the real
yeah.
title character here.
They straight
That's a
up
twist.
They straight up call it Wally the Walrus.
Are you shh?
they call it Wally the Walrus. Wally the Walrus. Yeah.
You're not shitting me?
Nope. No, I'm not.
I had no knowledge of that. I was kidding.
I don't. I highly doubt that they have a scene where like a scientist goes, "Let's call it Wally the Walrus." I'm pretty sure it's just like yeah, we sure took care of that, Wally the Walrus. I'm pretty sure it was like a joke, treated like a gag.
Or I was gonna say, or maybe something like how like Ewoks and Darth Sidious are actually like not mentioned in Return of the Jedi, but like on all the promotional products they are named. So like that's how people know their name.
I'm pretty sure the what I was reading I'm pretty sure they do specifically
they
say
actually call it that in the
Wally
movie?
the Walrus. I'm saying I don't think they label it like that monster is now called Wally. I think they
just refer to it or something.
Yeah, I think they just refer to it.
Well, because I was gonna say
as
if they
a
don't
joke or something.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say if they don't name it, then like
they say the words
like
Wally the Walrus.
Or not propaganda.
They say the words, but it's not like what
It's
do we
not like a-
what do we
what
call
do we
this
call this
monster?
thing? Yeah.
The Japanese call it Godzilla. It's nothing like that.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like, it pops up and they go, "Whoa, look at that. It's Wally the Walrus."
Or like they're about to about to use the lasers on it, and they're like, "I'm gonna call it Wally." Kill it right then. All right, bye, Wally.
Yeah, it kind of makes me wish we'd watch the U.S. version. I don't know if that's just like
It'd be funny is if the U.S. version like changes the ending so that like the U.S. is the hero.
It completely refocuses the entire film, so that it's from the U.S.'s perspective.
Well, no, just leave it from Japan, but like at the very end, the
pull
U.S.
a,
comes in and goes, "Hey, we can save you," and then they save us, and then it's like, "All right, the U.S. did good." Pat themselves.
What was
on the
Yeah,
back.
everybody
it was,
like cheers
Godzilla
them on.
Raids Again. Was it where? No, maybe it was Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was one of the two Godzilla films where they left. Like it was King of the Monsters.
Mhm.
Where they left all the Japanese scenes intact, but just completely ripped the context out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. Yeah. I hope they did that
To this.
for Gorath. That would be so goddamn funny.
Oh yeah. All right. You
was
want
Gorath.
to get to favorite scenes?
Sure. What is your favorite scenes?
We'll start with Kim.
I don't really have one.
You don't have one?
No.
Did you enjoy it? I don't think we got your.
My opinion on it,
Yeah.
it's okay. I mean, really, nothing much to really say on it except just reminded me of space movie Earth Doomed, and
Mhm.
that's
Deep
about
Impact.
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I mean, I was far more invested in this after Varen, so that's a positive for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, well, yeah.
After Varen,
a big
I-
change in that.
After Varen, I'm willing to watch The Room. So you
After
know.
Varen, I'm willing to watch the U.S. cut of Varen.
My favorite scene.
Yes,
I
tell
mean,
us, what is your
disti-
favorite scene
distinct- it's-
that you
it's-
yourself witnessed and did not read off Wikipedia, the most trusted source on the internet?
That you.
I actually did watch half the movie.
That you watched with your eyes and not your ears.
The second half of the movie, I actually did watch. I do remember from the point where one of the characters comes in with amnesia onward. Everything after that, I was actually awake for. I think so. Like just visually for me, my favorite scene was like towards the climax when like. When Gorath was like on its way and they started using the jets to move the Earth and and it was getting really close and it was kind of around that scene where the moon got blown up, but just everything around that where like finally you could see Gorath like with the naked eye like from the surface of Earth. I kind of like that because it was really like it was like super saturated with like red and stuff and it kind of I think I knocked my mic a little. It had a very kind of cool aesthetic to it like just things you don't expect to see in, real life, but like the fact that they brought it to, kind of like when you look at like Rogue One, like at the end there when the Death Star comes into orbit on that I forget the planet, but the beach one,
Yeah.
and you can see it in the atmosphere and like only the parts that the sun is hitting you can see, but the shadowed parts actually disappear into the sky. But it looks really cool because it's like right there and you can see it from the surface. It's like in the atmosphere and you're like, oh yeah, if this big moon-sized station showed up, and it was cool because it's like it was, obviously that probably wouldn't work in real life, but like if it did, that's about as damn close as you could get to representing that on film. And I thought it looked really good. So I like everything kind of leading up to that. And then once the waves came in and wiped out the model Tokyo, that one I give them credit for because it didn't look bad. But like at that point I was kind of like, okay, we're back to Toho. But you know, for a minute I was in like sci-fi heaven. Sci-fi is one of my favorite genres actually. So
That's that was also my favorite scene for slightly different reasons.
yeah, what was yours?
Same.
No. I mean, what were your reasons?
That scene or sequence specifically is what I was referring to when I was like, oh, there's a genuinely pretty damn good like sci-fi disaster, almost like horror film in this.
Yeah,
because unlike other like generic American disaster films where it's just like the tsunami's gonna kill us. The earthquake's gonna, where it's just
where it's kind of
a
just
force
like,
of nature that's like, oh, okay,
and
we just gotta get out of the way, and then it'll be,
and then
this is like doomsday, like on like a level where you can't even comprehend it.
Yeah, even 2012 didn't have that feel. It felt very shallow, like a lot of them, like Armageddon and like Geostorm or San Andreas or something. They all feel very like
this was,
you focus on like one or two main characters really. You get a whole bunch of side characters that you might not necessarily care about. And then like the gravity of like billions of people going to die or dying right in front of you doesn't really, register. It's kind of weird because it's like they'll just play it off.
Well, mostly just because the focus in, American, like generic, or not even just American, but like just generic disaster films.
Movies,
the focus is the disaster, which I'm not
going
to lie is not, I occasionally enjoy one of those,
I enjoy emotion behind things though. So like if they did a disaster movie, even if it wasn't like massive disaster, if it was something as simple as like LA is going to get flooded and pretty much wiped out, just LA, nothing else, just LA, then like I would enjoy when, like if we see a tower collapsing and you get to see people inside the tower, like kind of building up to that. And then, a big tower downtown LA, starts to collapse and you kind of like just, and then it like lingers on like they're floating, corpses or something, like something where like you get the gravity of like how many people are actually dead in some situation like this. I feel like that kind of, humanizes, strangers on film. And I feel like that's kind of what we need. Cause I know when they make it invisible, it's a matter of like invisibility. Like if you don't see that, then it doesn't exist. So if you don't see billions of people dying, then it doesn't exist. Right. So
that's not true. So, I don't see Santa Claus, but he exists.
I hate you. So
you're going to be on his naughty list.
I've always been on his naughty list.
That's why you get coal every year.
Mm-hmm. You call him Santa. I call him Daddy. So back to my Daddy Saint Nick.
Daddy Claus.
Daddy Claus. No, back to my point. Like
back to my point. This is supposed to be my favorite scene. You go on another tangent.
Wait, no, I thought you were done with it.
No, I started talking and you were like, yeah, I agree. And then you start going on a fucking tangent.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, continue then.
Well, actually, we should probably move on to Atragon because we're like 45 minutes into this.
The end of my point was it stops us from becoming desensitized, basically. So I like it when they do that. So, scores?
I would give it a 5 out of 10. And then I forgot, I did have a favorite scene, which is in the beginning when they're flying in the helicopter. It was like a joyride.
Oh yeah.
They're singing the song. I do remember that.
They could just steal the helicopter and fly it and land it somewhere and be like,
did that subplot even go anywhere? I forgot.
I don't forgot about that
complete.
They were just mad because they couldn't go up in space.
Well, the subplot was
we want to go to space. We're gonna steal your copter and fly off.
Well, and sing songs.
It seemed like I don't know. I don't get what the song part was.
I mean, it was basically like Wayne's World, like
but it seemed like it was gonna go somewhere because that subplot was they were either they were like part of the same class or crew or whatever of the first ship that exploded from Gorath, and they're like, we want revengeance, send us up, chief. And then that's as far as I remember of where that subplot went, because as far as I could tell, they were just written out of the script at that point. Happily singing on their way out the door.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, so that was your favorite scene?
Yeah.
All right, and your score was 5
out of 10.
50%. All right, Cody.
I give it 6,100
million.
Was it? No. It was 6,000 times the mass which apparently was okay in the film. But as soon as it reached 6,100 times the mass, that's when people start freaking out. No joke. So I give it 6,100 times the mass of Earth's
gravitational
core.
Yeah.
Whatever that translates to.
I'll call it a 61 out of 100.
Well, no, by that logic, it would be what 61,000 out of 100.
Yes.
I said 61.
Yes. That's
6,100 times the
that's exact.
Earth's mass.
6,100 out of 100.
Yeah. That's my score.
What would I give this one? What I saw of it.
Yes,
I
what you
would.
saw.
I would.
Yeah, think of the score of what. Just give us a score.
I would say probably somewhere between like a 6 and a 7.
Awesome.
I'll
So
say
that
6.5.
means it's somewhere between a 3 and a 4 because he only saw half. Thus, his score is reduced to half.
Shit. All right.
So
I give it a 10.
That's a
10 out of 10.
I give it a 10 out of 10, which means it's a 5.
We have it here. It's recorded. You said a 6 or a 7. Thus, his score is a 3 or a 4.
I can ADR it.
No, you can't because I'm editing it.
No, you can't. No.
Oh.
I think
Shut
I think our boss needs you for something.
Oh man. Well, it certainly wasn't to watch Atragon.
All right, yeah,
Atragon.
Atragon.
1963.
I think there's less to say about this movie, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't
I-
write much notes on it.
I
really.
shockingly have even more to say about this movie, but not because of the plot. The plot, there's certainly less to say about this film. This film is weird, not like Mysterian, like goofy weird. This one's just
Odd.
weird. This one's just odd.
Yeah.
Um,
Apparently it was based on books.
I don't know about that one. I could be
It-
wrong.
Wikipedia, the most trusted source on the internet, says so.
All right.
Yeah, it was based on 2 different books. It was like the underwater
Moby Dick?
warship. No, the underwater warship or something, and the underwater kingdom.
Yeah.
So
Basically, long story short, the premise of this film is you have the ancient civilization. I think they're called the Mu people,
yeah,
but
and
it was
you-
basically
Blue
Atlantis.
Empire.
Yeah, it was basically like Asian Atlantis.
Yeah, so you have the city of Atlantis, who just one day, out of the blue, they decide they want to come back to the surface. So they just send they send the creature of the Black Lagoon to go kidnap some babes,
Yup.
because they want to come back to the surface. And then people find out that there's like weird smoke people
Mhm.
coming out of the water, so they investigate, and then we get you know the
Yeah, they ran
the
like,
reveal. So
they ran like super hot because they were close to the core or something, right? And then when
I
they
don't
come
know.
up
I
when they
don't
come
think
up
that was
top, they're
ever
basically
explained.
thawed.
Might have been
They
inferred.
were just steamy.
They were just steamy. So the city of Atlantis, they want to come up, they steal babes, and that's basically that. There's this secondary film about a how do I put this? A war vet who like doesn't want to let go of the war, so he's building his own warship, and then they kind of merge the two plots together when out of nowhere the Atlanteans go, we want to come up. Also, by the way, this has no relevance to us, but you got to stop him from making that ship. We can't have him making that ship. If he makes that ship, we're gonna kill all of you.
And what's the name of the ship?
The Gotengo.
No,
Tickle
no.
Tango? What?
No.
Name of the ship is the Gotengo, also known as the Atragon, but the
roll
official
credits.
name is the Gotengo.
Yeah, roll credits.
Roll credits. So that's basically the film. It's a whole lot of nothing, while at the same time a whole lot of something.
They did have character development. I gotta say, they had like a.
They did have character development.
They had
I
one of those-
especially like the character development of the Moo Queen,
Oh yeah, the Empress.
the,
Yeah.
the Empress
She
of
was a
moose,
star.
the Empress of cows. She stole the show, really.
Yeah.
You were
Unfortunately,
probably
I was
asleep for it.
asleep.
Well,
for this
let
part,
me
yeah.
fill you in.
Yeah,
Let me
missed,
fill you in.
missed the
So here's
great
what's
parts
up.
of it.
Here's what happened.
I saw
Here's-
like the first 60% of the movie and then just past the.
so here's what happened, right? So they're building their warship, the Atrago, right? The
Mhm.
Atragon, excuse me. And then while that's going on, I guess I don't know. There's so many characters, like needless character, like main characters. There's so many of them that don't need to be there. So some of the forgotten, nameless main human characters, do they get kidnapped or they just go?
They get kidnapped.
They get kidnapped
They get
By-
kidnapped, and dragged down into
by that
Atlantis.
reporter.
Mhm.
And they get thrown into the dungeon, and this part made no sense at all. Like the guard was like, or not the guard, like one of the, I don't know, wasn't just a normal guard. He was, he was he was a boss. We'll call him. He'll call him one of the bosses. So one of the bosses throw him in the dungeon. They're like, we're gonna sacrifice you to our snake god if you don't get him to stop building the Atragon. Except they're already in the dungeon, so they can't really stop them.
And they're not about to release prisoners because they're not stupid.
Yeah. So they're all there, and then after some time, they kind of break free. And when I say break free, I mean the queen and her royal harem show up to sacrifice them, and then one of the guys just grabs the queen, and he conveniently has like a bomb,
A pen bomb.
a pen bomb. Like it looks like just like a pen, but he's like apparently it's like the strongest damn explosion ever.
It's like Mega C4.
Basically,
Is it a hydrogen pen?
No.
Because I swear.
No. They just said it was a bomb.
Don't use hydrogen pens.
But so the queen herself and her like harem show up, and the guy just grabs her. No.
Provocation.
No. Like there's no guards
Like,
to stop
hey,
him.
Oh,
She
he-
doesn't resist. He just grabs her and was like, "We're gonna go now because I have a bomb, and you're all gonna die if you try and stop us." And they
Was
just
it-
all get out of the way.
Was it like the Mysterians, like just kind of faint and he just takes them, no problem?
Oh,
Like,
no, she doesn't
what a
pass
charm-
out.
What a
She's-
charmer.
She's awake.
She's very aware. She just doesn't resist or speak or anything, and no one else does.
I see. I think this was a publicity stunt.
No,
I
hold
think
on,
they-
because it gets better.
Oh,
So then
Gets
they
way
all the
better.
prisoners of like half a dozen guys or like half a dozen characters, some guys and girls in there, right? They all make their way out.
diversity.
They all make their way out, and then they get to like the I forget what it's actually called on like not a ship, like a boat, but whatever they call it in the like on a spaceship where you have like the one like chamber that's like in between, like the chamber that's in between the oxygenated space
Oh,
and
yeah,
where they
yeah.
can like suit up and then go out into space.
Yeah. It's like that.
I forget.
They
Yeah.
do it in space too, where like they, you get in there all normal, then they depressurize
like a-
it, and then they open the other door, and then
Yeah,
you can go,
yeah. I forget exactly what those rooms.
Maybe like a docking.
I think it's a
something like
docking
that.
bay. Yeah.
Point is, so they drag the queen in there with them as because they need to suit up so they can go swim out because this is underwater. Keep in mind,
Mhm.
and they're like, "You're gonna come with us," and she's like, "What if I don't?" And then she there's conveniently there's a control panel in this room. This is the room where they they just have the suits. This is just the room to go from the city to the ocean.
Mhm.
But there's conveniently one control panel in this room. When I say control panel, I don't mean it's hidden. It's a big giant box with 3 very big red buttons, and she leans against it, presses one of the buttons, and I guess that awakens it awakens the snake god Manda. So they just have a button just to release the Kraken in the room where they go to leave.
I'm imagining like
Very
Return of the
convenient.
Jedi, like the Rancor, like just
Oh, it
comes
totally
out and starts eating Luke Skywalker.
it totally was something just straight out of that, but even more cheesy because it's in the escape room.
rather Star Wars was something
Anyway,
straight out of this.
Anyway, so yeah, they're like, "You're gonna come with us," and she's like, "What if I say no?" And they're like,
Why would you ever say no?
"Well, no." They're like, we're gonna blow this whole place up," and she's like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." So
I
she
think he started putting in water.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah. She was like, "What if I don't?" And they're like, "Fair enough." And they started opening the doors,
Yeah.
and the water started coming, and she was like, "Oh, okay, I'll go." so she just jumps in a suit and swims out with them.
Yeah,
They're not.
that's the funny part though.
Yeah. They're not like like
Tethered.
They
they're
don't
not
like-
tethered.
yeah.
They're not
They're not-
holding her or
They don't
anything.
even
She just-
care. She just follows them onto the Atragon.
Obviously, being away from civilization for thousands of years
She just-
definitely told she's lacking some social skills
She-
here. Doesn't know how to
she-
get kidnapped properly.
She follows them up there. They all get on board, and the commander is like, "Oh, cool, we have a new prisoner. It's the queen." But it still gets better because after that, that's when they just obliterate the entire civilization.
Yes, I read about that.
Yeah.
Wait,
like,
what about the prisoners that were down there getting eaten by Manda?
they all escaped? Like they all made it onto the
Yeah, they were
Atragon.
swimming.
No one got
yeah.
eaten.
Cool.
They killed Manda in like
No
T-minus
stakes.
2 minutes. Like it was not even a fight.
It's
Manda
frozen.
wrapped around it, and then they like electrocuted it, and then they had they used the absolute zero spray, which just froze it, and then that was it. GG. So yeah, they nuke the city with what I can only assume is the 6-point 6 megaton thrusters, but condensed into a bomb. Because we're talking explosions, because this is like a civilization underwater, right?
Yo, deep underwater.
There were explosions so huge above the water, it would make Michael Bay himself salivate. Salivate.
Yeah.
It was, unfathomably, ridiculously huge explosions. And they're like making her watch. So she's just watching her whole civilization, her whole kingdom just get obliterated. And there's like 3 like ships from the civilization that come up, like survivors, and they just kill them in front of her as well. They leave no one. They exterminate her whole kingdom right in front of her, to the point where she's like, okay, and she just jumps off the ship and just swims into the explosions. They broke her mentally, and
she goes to die with her people.
Yeah, they're all dead.
There was a theme. If you go to the Wikipedia, the most reliable source on the internet, page on our I forget how to pronounce what was the name of the time?
Atragon.
Atragon. Thank you. Yeah, if you go to the Atragon Wikipedia page, it has like a little tab. Or I'm sorry, I was looking at this on my phone, so online it's a little different on a computer. But there's a little section where it talks about like the themes of the movie, and that's one of them actually, where like there's a parallel between the Empress and the captain that like, he built Atragon to like bring Japan back from the devastating loss of World War II, right? So like there's a parallel between them, and it has something to do with that. I skimmed that part because I didn't think it was important for this, but like, So if you want to look into it, you can look into it.
I'm sure you could read into it that way. The reason why
but there was, it sounds stupid, but like there was a purpose.
It doesn't sound stupid. It's just a stretch because, again, the whole Atragon like main plot thread wasn't even part of the original plot thread. It was totally coincidental.
Mm-hmm.
It was, hey, there's Atlanteans and they want to come to the surface, and they're saying that they want us to stop a guy from building a ship. We don't know who or what it is. Cut to the guy building a ship, and he's like, "Oh, I'm building a warship."
And we're like, "Cool."
Why? I don't know, because the plot demands it.
Well, no, because he was stuck in the past.
I got his motivations. What I'm saying is, it made no sense for him to build that specific warship that was designed to destroy the civilization.
Oh no, it wasn't designed to destroy.
It totally was.
No.
The other 3 versions were just basic ships.
No, but it wasn't designed to destroy Mu. It was designed to.
I'm saying
be like the massive.
No,
like,
I got that.
Death Star for Japan.
I'm saying in concept and execution, that ship was designed for the sole purpose of destroying.
Oh, you
like,
mean
realistically
for the movie.
speaking? Yeah, realistically speaking, if you have a guy who built 3 like warships and he goes, "I'm going to build a 4th one. It's going to be even bigger and better." His first line of thinking is probably not, "I'm going to build a flying drill."
Yeah, no.
That was designed just for that confrontation.
Yeah, just so that like at that point in the plot, when they charge Mu,
which is why I don't really agree with reading into that. I'm not disagreeing that parallel isn't there. I'm just saying I don't.
No, yeah, it's a stretch. But
it's a stretch just because that
was the idea behind
coincidental. Yeah, no, I get the idea.
But
behind
it wasn't the strongest of them all, honestly.
It
started out phenomenally though. I think he could hear. I think in his grave he could hear Cody. Actually, sorry, not in his grave. In the past, he was able to hear Cody.
What?
Giving his commentary on this show about how everything moves really slow. Like really slow burning stuff until the climax. And I think he was like, you know what? We're gonna make Cody's episode 4 not like that. We're gonna give the legit day job
run for their money.
We're gonna give them what they want.
Yeah,
they want it to be fast burning. We're gonna do that.
We're gonna keep them. Keep them entertained, and then you still fell asleep.
So that's because of when we watched it. The first he was talking about you, not me. The first like 5 minutes or less of this movie crammed so much. Like 30 seconds in, and I mentioned I'm like, this feels like a Bourne film immediately, because there was like suspense just up to the neck. There was like so many like quick cuts of like artsy shots, and then like even the first line of dialogue was like, "Hey, pull over here" or something. And
it was
"Hey,"
pull over.
It was like "Hey" on one shot, and then it like a slightly different angle.
Yeah,
pull over here, and it was like,
and he starts doing donuts
to be one sentence, and it was like a really fast cut. It was supposed to be like a spy feel, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's like, then it cuts
The
to some
creature
other
from the Black
scene.
Lagoon.
No. It cuts to some other scene. It's like ready, and then some dude pulls a gun, like facing the camera,
Yeah.
pulls a gun,
Yeah.
and then somehow the image just like
Flips.
rolls itself as if it was like on a PowerPoint. It just flips upside down, and then we realize quickly, oh, it's because he took a picture, and it's a photo shoot, and then like this chick's in the background, and she's like, I don't know, and she's in a robe, and they're like, no, it's okay, and then she like drops the robe, and she's in like a scantily clad cheetah print bikini, and it's like nighttime, and they're like, it's hot in the middle of summer, okay, give us that vibe, and then she's like pointing at Captain Cutler steaming and coming out of the ocean, and they're like, what the hell, this isn't a thriller, oh my god, and then they start taking pictures, and like the flashes like cause Captain Cutler to just like fall back into the ocean, and like and then Captain Cutler starts like low-key swimming away, and then this car that we saw before where this dude's like pull over, and then he doesn't, and the driver's doing donuts, and then he just runs right past them off this
water.
dock into the water, presumably killing Captain Cutler.
We don't know,
a car landed on him.
We don't know because then it hard cuts to the opening credits.
Oh yeah, because Captain Cutler doesn't ever come back. We don't ever see him specifically. We don't know what happened. There was no bodies, nothing. So it's like, what the F did I just watch?
Yeah.
Like,
it was definitely exciting.
Yeah, and
definitely
Ishiro Honda was
bizarre film.
Ishiro Honda was like, all right, we're gonna start this out with a bang. We're gonna start out with 5 bangs, and then all of a sudden it just like,
and then we're gonna end it with 6 million bangs.
Exactly.
What I was disappointed in. It was missing one thing. Like there's one thing. This is in reference to again, like the total bizarre, like 2 different plots.
Mm.
There was one very easy way. You could have just mixed them into one. Everything would have been fine. It was like the one thing that this film was missing. It's missing the classic, the iconic old guy. Like I'm specifically, it's missing the scene in Jaws where they're talking about how do we catch the shark, and the guy just like runs his fingers on the chalkboard. He's like, I'll tell you how to catch the shark. It was missing that. That's how you introduce the war captain. They go, how do we kill these Atlanteans? And then he just goes,
I'll tell you how. I made Atragon. Roll credits.
We use Atragon, and they go, what? And then there you go. That's how you bridge both lines. That's like the one goofy scene that it's missing in this goofy film.
Yeah. Not to be confused with a Goofy movie by Disney, but
no. That came much later. That's actually the 3rd film in the saga.
I hate you. I hate you so much. After destroying Mu/Atlantis, the survivors of that underwater colony
mutated.
They came to land and evolved into human dog hybrids. And, and that's how we got a Goofy movie, an animated sequel to this masterpiece.
Of course.
Absolutely. I hate you so much, Cody.
Why don't you go ahead and give your favorite scenes, and I'll close this off because we do got to wrap up in a bit. But there is some very interesting short fun facts, but I'll close with that.
I mean, a lot of the opening stuff was just so wacky that I kind of thought it like that whole opening prologue before the credits. I kind of enjoyed just because it was so wacky. It made me feel really good about myself as a writer because I was like, oh, okay, this whatever happened. But like genuinely speaking, my favorite scene would probably be when we are introduced to the captain for the first time and he sees his daughter. And like, like the pan in on her and like, the reaction shot from him and everything. And that whole kind of like, there's some sort of a weird tension there. Like she's obviously got a little bit of resentment and like confusion and like a little bit of joy too, because she thought he was dead. And then he's got this like almost shock. Like, I don't know if he knew she even existed, but like, then he sees her and he has some sort of like he's got a little bit of regret in him and it was I thought it was very well shot and well performed. I liked it. Not like there was anything like as far as like costumes or background or anything. It was a basic scene, but the emotion was really potent in those 2 or 3 shots. So I really enjoyed that.
I don't know how you read all that from the scene. It wasn't that well staged. They were standing on a cliff and Mario just awkwardly looked at her like 30 seconds and then she left. Is that what you're talking about?
No, where they were at the table and they were like introducing.
I'm sorry.
First time
I misunderstood. Yeah.
No, yeah. So I mean, I thought that was. Yeah.
I thought you meant like 2 minutes later when he chases after her.
No, not that one. No.
Anyway,
I don't remember that.
I don't even. Sorry, we kind of rushing through this. What did you even think of it before your favorite scene?
I just thought it was entertaining towards the ending.
Oh, it definitely was entertaining.
Especially with the queen. Yeah, from there on, it was It was great.
Yeah,
Apparently, I missed the best parts.
Yeah, you did.
you did. You really did.
My favorite scene is when she just jumped off and then swam. They were like, just let her go.
Yeah.
She just jumped.
Yeah, I mean, it says that online. It's like, and the queen exits the ship. The crew looking on, the captain and the crew looking on as she just goes to die with the people. I was like, what?
Yeah.
They were like, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't need the captive anymore. There's nobody to come get her anyway.
But it just kind of beat when she was swimming with them towards, like, to get on there.
Yeah.
When you pointed that out, I was like, oh, yeah. I just started laughing because it made no sense.
It's one thing to hop in the suit and, try and swim underwater, but she didn't have to follow them. She could just swam literally anywhere else. And
just go to the dragon thing.
Yeah,
she could have, like, swam, just directly to the right and, like, wrapped around the city to, like, another exit.
Literally anywhere else.
She went with them.
But yeah, she chose to do it. Was that your favorite scene though?
She was
I would say
she was down for an
It was
adventure.
just so funny.
My favorite scene was probably debatably the most bizarre scene in the entire movie, which you probably were also asleep for. They randomly somewhere, I want to say midway through the film, randomly just cuts to like a 3-minute long just choreographed dance sequence in Atlantis.
Well, you know what? I might have actually been awake for that. It might have been on my way out, but I think I was awake for that.
It was just so bizarre, and it just kept going.
I do remember that actually. Yeah,
like it wasn't even like a ritual. They were just straight up dancing.
They were taking inspiration from Bollywood movies.
And it was just so bizarre. And then like the longer it went on, the more bizarre it went. Because at first it was like, okay, they're doing a weird ritual, right? They're underwater people, whatever. Then it keeps going, and it's like, oh, this is a choreographed dance sequence. Then the captives show up. That's right. This is when they kidnapped however many of the random main characters. So they drag them in there, and then everyone stops dancing. They circle around them, and they, when the queen's like, we're gonna sacrifice them to the dragon. Everyone out of nowhere now has knives, and they raise them up in the air like, yeah, Amanda. But like everyone's just like wielding knives. It was like something out of like Us. It was just so bizarre. And then you never see them again. That was my favorite scene. So yeah, really quick, a little fun fact. So Toho, when this was being made, Toho, obviously like any studio would, they said this film needs to come out by this date, right? They gave a release date.
Yeah.
What isn't very usual is that the final draft of the script wasn't approved until 3 months prior to that confirmed release date. And Toho did not want to budge on that release date. So they made this movie in less than 3 months.
Wow. I have to say that's actually kind of impressive. It makes a lot of sense for why this movie is the way it is.
No, hold on. Because I want to reiterate, they made it in less than 3 months, but the script, I don't know how long they were writing the script, but that script was not rushed.
No, I know.
So the writing was always how it was going to be.
No, but I'm just saying like but like there were things that like they could have improved on, like as far as, effects or what have you, like it could have been a little better. Plus
in terms of the actual production, it's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The script though was always going to be that kind of mess.
Yeah. And I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion Toho might have just said, okay, fine, go with it because we've only got 3 months and we're not budging.
Probably.
So, I mean, because like, again, it was a cobbled together combination of, 2 different novels. And so it like adapted that into one
about Atlantis,
thing.
The other one about the Atragon.
But yeah, no, actually though, because it was like the underwater warship and the underwater kingdom. So like, doesn't that make sense as for like why it doesn't feel
it makes
cohesive?
Sense. Yeah, it makes sense why it feels like 2 different plots.
Yeah, because it is.
Yeah, two different stories.
I don't know how intertwined those two were. I think they were from the same author. They're like the same series, sort of. But yeah, like they
either way.
But I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that is still impressive. 2 months,
3 months, 3 months for production. The way that they did that is that they divided it into 3 different filming units. 1 unit just for the drama, like just normal
character stuff,
and then 2 entire units for all special effects stuff. Both of the special effects units, even more impressive than the whole film getting completed in 3 months. Both those special effect units finished in 4 weeks.
Wow.
Damn.
which was only apparently a third of the time they usually have to crank out special effects for
That was a
these
third
films.
of the total production, though.
A third of total production, yeah.
Yeah,
But a third of like just ignoring like the 3-month period. Yeah, a third of the
what they usually have. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, actually. I got it.
Yeah.
So yeah, production wise, it was very impressive. Pre-production must have been a mess.
Probably.
Post was probably just a blitzkrieg to get it out in like a week. They're like, all right, we got all the film. Just cut what you think it needs to be cut. And just, no time for ADR. Just, just cobble everything together. All right, we're done. The day before it premieres, ship them out everywhere. 1 day shipping.
1 day shipping.
Or you drive it there yourself if you have to. That must have been funny. Well, cool. Scores?
7 out of 10. Because it was entertaining.
Good. Okay,
Definitely
yeah.
was
Good point.
entertaining.
Yeah.
Good point. I think I'll give it the same score actually.
All right,
Because
so
it was
it's a
entertaining.
3.5 out of 10 from him.
I hate you. I saw more of this movie than I did the last one, but
Did you see all of either of them?
no.
3.5 out of 10 from him. I'll round it up for you. 4 out of 10 from him.
That's
A
fine.
little more
That's
than
fine.
half.
That's fine.
There we
Actually,
go,
that's
there we go.
fine. That reflects the quality of the movie. Yours?
I don't have any cheeky numbers to bullshit. I don't think I liked it as much as the Mysterians, but I definitely liked it more than Varen.
I think we all liked
Oh,
it
yeah,
more than
of
Varen.
course.
We liked anything more than
Yeah,
Varen.
Varen was
I think I
pain.
liked it more than Gorath too, just because it was so bizarre,
Just because it was so campy. Yeah.
so campy.
Campy
yeah.
stuff is good. You ever seen Batman 66?
Batman, yes,
Campy as
yes.
hell. I love that.
Campy as hell. That's gonna wrap it up for this episode. Thank you for listening to the Legit Day Job podcast. This is our legit day job.
It's what we do for a living
It's what we do for a living.
every day. Actually, that's not true. I'm only here 3 days a week. I'm Sean.
What do we do?
I live
Yeah,
here.
that's what the rest of you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Sean.
I'm Kay.
I'm your host.
And what are we watching next week?
Or
I'm sorry, tomorrow.
Tomorrow we're gonna be really taking a dive into the camp tomorrow.
Dive into Atlantis.
What?
Dive into Atlantis.
No, we're not
going
quite-
down to get the Empress.
Not quite going that far down. Tomorrow, we see the return of the King of the Monsters himself. Tomorrow we watch Godzilla versus King Kong.
Oh, fuck